Is there further objection? Gentleman from Georgia.
I reserve the right to object, Madam Speaker. I just want to very briefly come down because I think that we need to remember, first of all, that we're standing on some very hallowed ground here. We're standing on the grounds of the citadel of this nation, where some heavy prices were paid for the foundation of our government, the hallmark of which is openness and freedom. So when we take a step to close our proceedings to the American people, we are treading on treacherous ground. And so I think it's very important, Mr. Majority Leader, that I ask you this question, because I think you certainly need to answer this for those of us here and the American people. And that question is this a political ploy? Is this, in the land of Greek mythology, was a land called Troy. And in that land they brought a Trojan horse. And so when you look at the facts that have been exposed in this discourse this evening, you say you have information that is of high intelligence matter, that you're asking us to undermine the very hallmark and foundation of our free, open republic, to present that has not even been presented to the proper channels of our Intelligence Committee on the eve of a vote that has been moving around these chambers for well over a month. Here, just before we're about to go for a 2-week recess, we come with this mysterious information. So the question has to be answered. Is this a Trojan horse? Is this a political ploy to call a meeting in secret, to give secret information? Those of us that would come have to abide by the secrecy. Then when the vote takes place, if it doesn't go the way that you want it, we could say to the press, well, hey, we called a secret meeting. We gave them valuable information, and see what they did. It puts this whole situation in a very confounding box. And I ask you to answer that question. Is this not a political ploy? Is this not a Trojan horse? And if so, could it not be a misuse of the sanctity of the House of Representatives?
I would say to my friend that it's not a political ploy. I'd also say that beginning in 1978, when we passed actually the first Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, we set a new structure in place where the House of Representatives took more responsibility for intelligence information in the country. And we can talk about how many times we've done this since 1825 or whatever, but 3 times, and certainly 3 times after the House decided in 1978 to take more responsibility for the intelligence issues in the country, we had a discussion that I thought was possible to have here today. The bar, certainly, I understand why my friends would want to raise the bar, but I have information that has been available to the Intelligence Committee that I thought the members that have not seen that information would benefit from talking about. I haven't suggested it's at the top secret level. I haven't suggested it's at the program level. I've said it's at the secret level. It's not. That kind of information is important to discuss. I think should not be discussed in a general session, but also does not rise to the kinds of things that even in a secret session of the whole House, I don't think should be discussed. The suggestion that somehow here the bar is that if the member doesn't bring information that the entire country should know the very future of the country, the essence of the country, rest on. That's not the determination of either a secret level of intelligence or a secret session, nor in saying to my good friend, the majority leader, I'd be glad to discuss this for an hour, this topic generally, based on information that I think would be important for all the members to talk about. Many of the members have not seen this. It is information I think would be helpful. I certainly can't control the discussion of the hour, the 30 minutes that I've said I'd be more than happy for the majority to have. I hope we both tried to be positive here in creating a discussion of items on an issue that, after all, does relate to some of the most sensitive techniques and procedures in our country. I'm not going to talk about the highly classified parts of the program. I'm not going to talk about the top secret parts of the program that the chairman and the ranking member and others, including the majority leader, and I am aware of. But I did have some information that I thought would help the debate that rose to the secret level that all of the members otherwise would not hear.
But if that information rose to that level, Mr. Minority Leader, to that level of secrecy, then why would it not certainly have raised to the level that you could have shared it with the chairman of the Intelligence Committee?
I've said 3 times now, this was information that's been available to the Intelligence Committee.
But I'm saying, but the point is that you yourself had the information, but you yourself did not share it with the chairman of the committee.
That is not what I said or what the record would reflect.
The gentleman, I will yield to the majority leader.
The reason I stand is because, again, I want to explain. The information, I don't know the information, but the information that Mr. Blunt has clearly is within the bosom of the Intelligence Committee, and I don't know, but I presume the Judiciary Committee has had access to it under the President's order. What has not been done is that information has not been shared with the members. It's not a question of sharing with the Intelligence Committee. So I understand the gentleman's concern. What Mr. Blunt is simply saying is he wants to share it with the members. He cannot share it in open session. I don't know what the information is, but again, as I expressed to my friend, and I would hope that we would understand that at some point in time we need to accord to one another the credibility. Particularly, I would hope that he would accord to me as the leader credibility, and as I accord to him credibility on his assertion that this is something he wants to share with the members, some of whom would not have had access. They may have had access to it, but they haven't heard it. That is all I think he's saying, and in that context, we have come to this agreement, which we think, as I say, focuses and serves the concerns that you have legitimately raised and focuses our efforts.
Yes, sir.
Would the gentleman yield?
I will yield to you.
As a member of the Judiciary Committee who's read into the program, when Mr. Blunt talked to me about the possibility of this effort, it was in the context of how do we make that careful distinction of those of us who've been read into the program to try and inform the membership without violating the confidentiality under which we work. And the suggestion was that a secret session might allow for a freer discussion while those of us who've been read into the program still protect the classified nature of the program. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. All I'm saying is it's no information that's, from my standpoint, that is unknown to other members of the Judiciary or the Intelligence Committee who've been read into the program, but it's our effort to try and find some vehicles by which we can inform the membership while still preserving the confidential status of that information. It's nothing that we have within our bosom that no one else has. It is information that we're trying to find a vehicle to allow the other membership to be informed, and I hope that helps the gentleman.
Yeah. My final concern is, and I will let this rest, is that after tomorrow, when we read the accounts of this, or when we go home and the American people ask us that question The issue is going to be, was it worth it? Did it reach that level to really undermine the openness in government? Our nation is littered with examples of secrecy when it should have been openness. And as we've seen from those who've been here long before I have, who've gone through these previous times, and the 5 times and the most recent 2 or 3 times that some of those that spoke have been here, it proved to not reach that bar. And I just say, these are hollow grounds. This is a precious country, the centerpiece which is openness, and if we keep tipping away at this, we undermine the very fabric of our country. And I just submit to you, Mr. Leader, this is really what's at stake tonight. And
Would the gentleman be